Good day or good evening. This is Larry Aiello. I'm here in Palermo. So this sign here expresses one of my pet peeves about this city. They're saying "Si avvisano I signori," and they're saying we're advising the gentlemen, and really it's gentlemen. In this case, they probably mean ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes on the planes you'll hear signore, signori, ladies and gentlemen, when they're making announcements. Di non abbandonare rifiuti. Now, rifiuti is one of those words that means refuse, so don't abandon your refuse or garbage. Another word I'm seeing a lot of is spazzatura. Okay, non abbandonare rifiuti per stradella e di possessori di cani. So don't abandon your refuse or garbage on the streets and the possessions of dogs. Di portarli nei luoghi appositi, to bring it to the appropriate specific place. Luoghi is places, similar to lugar if you know Spanish. Per I loro bisogni, for their specific needs. So basically they're saying don't litter and curb your dog, basically. And here is an example. You don't have to go too far. It just drives me nuts. They don't respect their town. They don't respect other people. You also hear music playing, blasting from apartments, blasting from cars. You probably heard as I was back there by the sign. Gotta watch my traffic behind me. But yeah, it just drives me nuts. You'll see garbage too on the streets like this. Now it'll get picked up, the sanitation department will come by and get it later, usually in the early morning hours of the morning. You get on the sidewalk here, so they'll pick it up, they'll get it eventually. They'll get those bins. The problem with Palermo is the density, the population density wasn't meant for this many people, but people want to live in the cities. This is where the jobs are. Palermo's landlocked with mountains, and then there's a sea, and there's farming, so they can't really expand out into the suburbs. So they just have to push more and more people into this town, and it gets overcrowded, and there's a lot of traffic, etc., etc. And so here you see a garbage bin they picked up. It's not overflowing. But, it just drives me nuts. This is a beautiful town, and people just don't respect the rules. They don't respect authority. They want to do their own thing. You can see there's a lot of traffic here. Try not to get smashed. Lively, a lot of hustle and bustle in this town. But, and maybe that's where the mafia kind of was kindled here or grew up here, because they don't have respect for authority. They don't trust authority. They can't rely on the government services and the police. So maybe that's part of the mentality, or part of the reason why the mafia was kindled in this part of Italy, or Palermo, down here in Sicily. So, they're just not respectful of the rules. I'll go around town, I'll see mattresses left on the side of the road, furniture left on the side of the road. I guess they figure, oh, well, I'm paying taxes, so they'll just come by and pick it up, the people or what have you, or the sanitation department, they'll just come on by and pick it up. Figure I'm paying taxes, so I'll just dump my mattress to the side of the road. It just drives me nuts. There's graffiti everywhere, not everywhere, but enough graffiti. And I've been to other cities, a lot of other cities have graffiti. That's just not a knock on Palermo. That's a knock everywhere. I've seen it in Paris and Amsterdam, Milan, and every American city I've been to has it. So, but Palermo just seems more like the wild, wild west, where things people just kind of do their own thing. Now here they do have some recycling bins, so not everyone, I'm not going to say everyone doesn't curb their dogs, but a lot of people, I've seen some people do, but there are some recycling bins over here. You see, that's for clothing. Maybe up the road there'll be some more. But yeah, so it's just one of my pet peeves about Palermo. Now, I've been to Amsterdam, Paris. Things are a lot more orderly. People cross the street. There's traffic, crosswalks everywhere with traffic lights that are well synchronized. Here you got to kind of jaywalk sometimes, and they'll stop for you. But it's just not as orderly as Paris, Amsterdam. Amsterdam, people, I just got the vibe that they respect the environment more. They want to recycle. That's why they're biking. There's bike lanes everywhere. It's a great city for biking, even though it's cold over there. I've seen people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s even biking as part of their daily routine. So it's just really it's a totally different environment mentality than this. But don't get me wrong, Palermo's a great city. There's a lot of great art and architecture, history here, great cuisine. You won't find like the uncurbed dogs or the garbage. If you're in the city center, you won't see the garbage. It'll be very well manicured. They keep the touristic areas clean. You're coming in from the port. So you look at this, drives me nuts. You're coming in from the port area, down in by Quattro Canti, the main tourist areas. Those areas are going to be clean. But if you venture outside, where I am, in the non-tourist zones where the residents live, it's a little bit different story. Got to get out of the way here. There's a little fruit vendor, fruit and vegetables. The food is great here. It's all fresh, great cuisine, great people. So, let me not dissuade you from visiting this great city. But just wanted to express my pet peeves. It's kind of the wild, wild west over here. So things are a little different. And maybe that's what gives it its charm and allure of this city. I love this city. I practically kind of grew up here. But it does have its problems. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There are problems here. There's a lot of traffic. It's noisy, can be noisy and crowded. It's not a place if you want to get a peaceful getaway. There's other places in Sicily, not too far from here, if you want some peace and quiet. But there's a lot to do and see here. So I guess that's it. Just wanted to vent a little bit, show you some street scenes of Palermo. Okay, everyone, this is Larry Aiello. If you want to learn Italian, just check out the link in the description below. There's also links to my other courses. Hope you all have a great day. Ciao, ciao.